Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Greyhawk channel. Hopefully, you are hearing audio and seeing us because we're pro streamers. That's how these things work. My name is Nomadic, and again, welcome to the Greyhawk channel. Tonight, we are going to be playing a very special game called The Grove Where We Met. I literally had to look at my sheet to make sure that I was saying our own title correctly. It's fine. This is great. But it is a 5th edition, slightly homebrew D&D game, and I'm super excited. Joined tonight by some very, very lovely people. I've actually had the pleasure and honor of playing with all of these folks before. So if you don't mind, go ahead and we'll introduce ourselves, let people know just who you are, and we're not even going to go into characters, really just say your name and like a little audio test. Russ, we're going to start with you.
Hi, I'm Russ. I use he, him pronouns.
Thanks, Russ. PB?
Hi, I'm PB, and I use she, her pronouns.
Fantastic. Welcome, friend. Tara?
Hi, I'm Tara, and I use she, her pronouns.
And Kika.
Hey, what's up, fam? It's your girl, Kika.
I expected this, and I am not disappointed. Thank you very much. I can hear you all. Hopefully y'all can hear them. Before we get started into tonight's game, though, I do want to take a quick moment to give a special thanks to those who sponsor and support this channel. First and foremost, though, all of the Patreon and Twitch subscribers, seriously, thank you so much. You are what allows us to do the things that we do here on Greyhawk. And we do want to send a shout out to Roll20, who supports the majority of the games that you see on this channel. They are the world's leading virtual tabletop, and now Greyhawk is officially supported by them, which is pretty dang awesome. You can definitely try Roll20 out for free at roll20.net. We'd also like to give a special thanks to Heroic Maps, which is our official battle map sponsor, and you can check out their library of more than 300 maps on Drive-Thru RPG. Next, I'd like to quickly send another shout out to Tabletop Loot. We really love them. Everybody loves Tabletop Loot. They're seriously awesome. You can head to tabletoploot.com and enter Greyhawk in the coupon code box and get 15% off of your dice order, which is pretty dope because we all need more dice. I mean, it's a thing. Like, you just need more dice. And then we do want to send another shout out as well to Devin Rue, who you know is the mistress of maps, as well as Cantrip Candles, which is available in the Discord channel. There's a special code there for both rueinc.com and cantripcandles.com. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and just dump right into this. I'm super excited. Clicking out of there so I can do some of the ready things. And we're gonna go. Are you ready? You ready for this adventure? Okay. That means I really have to do this. It's gonna be great. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. You inhale. The scent of wet moss fills your nostrils, and it would be sweet, almost comforting, to the senses, if not for the sharp headache that jerks you awake. Your eyes snap open, and fingers grasping frantically at the ground in search of a weapon, gathering only mud and foliage as your vision slowly comes to focus. Your bodies are each cradled by a thick, pillowy layer of moss and brush, sprinkled with toadstools and multicolored pebbles. The forest you are in is bursting with life. Trees with bark as tough as iron and as old as time, with patches of wild flowers and an assortment of beautiful colors. And more notably, more unusual from your own homes, are giant mushrooms that are thicker than any trees nearby and nearly just as tall, capped in red with white dots. You're not alone, though. The forest is whirring with cries from birds and the chittering of critters. But you'd expect that in a forest. Although you're really not alone, because staring back at you as you start getting up are 3 other humanoids. And I'd like you all to now introduce yourselves, not by name, but by appearance. Who would like to go first? I'm going to pick one of you. Okay, thank you. Volunteer. Great. You're the best.
So you see a 8-foot tall guy. He looks to actually be around, like, despite how big he is, he's probably around 16 years old or so, you would say, because he has a very young face. He has blue skin and a pink cow-like nose, and 2 floppy ears. And he is wearing like a green vest over a white shirt, and has a staff next to him that curls into a spiral that ends in a single berry hanging from it.
I
Also,
hide behind a tree.
Sorry. Also, he's actually has brown skin, not blue skin. My apologies.
What were you saying, Kika?
I hide behind a tree.
What do you look like, though?
I made it easy for me, and I made it so my character looks like me. She's wearing loose-fitting black clothing, and she might have like some flour on her from baking. And yeah, that's about it.
All right. How about from PB or Tara? What do your characters look like?
When you look over to see my character, you see a young female who is looking a little bit gaunt in her pretty dark tan, almost coppery skin tone, with long gray hair up in the messy sort of bun. And her eyes are an absolutely striking red just all the way through. And she stands not nearly as an impressive height as Russ's character, but I'm about like at almost 6 foot, almost there. Didn't quite manage it though.
Should have had like your Wheaties every day for breakfast. Might have helped. The Greyhawk version of Wheaties. And Tara, what does your character look like?
She is about 5'3", 5'4", in black leather, soft leather, and most striking is her pale, almost milky lavender eyes and the subtle shade of deep purple to her skin. It's almost obsidian, but it's just pale enough where it looks more purple. Short elven ears, and her pet is with her. So she also has a boar with her who probably looks very cranky because he doesn't know where he is.
Yeah, I would say that your boar is incredibly irritated.
Yeah.
These are scents and sights that they do not recognize, that are just
He's
hitting
probably
senses.
staying very close behind her or to the side of her, wanting that confirmation that she's okay. And she has to steel herself to give the presence of being okay.
Okay. So now that you've all seen each other, what are you doing?
Hiding behind a tree.
Hiding behind a tree.
My character is trying to remember how he got here, or like any of the people, like whether he recognizes anyone here.
Mm-hmm. That is definitely an important detail that all of you, it kind of hits you as you are staring at each other, looking around, hiding behind trees. You can't, you certainly don't recognize any of these people before you. You don't recognize the area in which you're standing. And the more that you think on it, you can't recall how you got here. You have no idea where here is.
I look over to this tall furbolg and I say, "Who are you? Why are you here?"
I'm not really sure why I'm here. Who are you?
That was not the question. I asked you who you were.
I don't know who I am.
I look over to Tara's character. Who are you? Why are you here?
Why do you get to ask all the questions? Who are you?
I literally just went over this. I asked you first.
You just don't get to ask all the questions, is all I'm saying. Who the hell is that person over there? Or I thought I saw somebody go behind a tree. Maybe. Can I do perception or?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and roll a perception check.
Would that be versus my
Yes,
stealth?
Kiko, would you like to roll that, please? Probably at a disadvantage, Kiko,
fine.
because they kind of all saw you.
Well, I mean, it's hard for me to get lower than 6 total. Yeah, 6 total.
7.
So you got a 7, Tara?
Yeah.
Barely and ungracefully, but you saw somebody hide behind a tree.
Maybe we should go see what they know. Maybe they're the reason we're here if they're hiding all of a sudden.
Hello? Hello. Do you know why we are here and who you are?
I get scared and throw a rock.
Who are you throwing a rock at?
All of us.
3 rocks.
Probably Rental.
Go for it.
I mean, that would be an improvised weapon, right? Dexterity.
Yeah.
10 total.
I'm assuming your AC is higher than 10.
That does not hit, but I'll let it hit me. I will absolutely let it hit me.
Okay.
It does, and it just like off of your armor and falls to the ground.
Oh, I don't do damage? Okay.
Take 10d10 damage.
Well, if it's like my sling, it would be 1d4 plus 3, which would mean it would be 7.
It doesn't
Which would
penetrate the armor itself. It hits.
What
just
about?
didn't do any damage.
Okay. Is this how you communicate? Are we not speaking? Is this one of the? Do you know? Is this like a fey creature? Have you spoken to a fey creature? No.
I don't really know much about Fae or anything, really.
You're not supposed to talk to strangers.
That's what I've been told too, but I don't know by who.
No, if you are strangers.
So I'm going to ignore everybody now and look to my boar and kind of whisper to him to start sniffing around for a trail.
Okay. Go ahead and roll perception for your boar. And does your boar get keen hearing and smell? If they do, they get advantage on that check. I don't know if all pets do. Some pets have it. Nope. Okay. So go ahead and just roll a standard perception roll, please. Is your boar kind of like it's kind of snorting around, sniffing at the ground, maybe licking a couple things here or there?
So I rolled a 13 plus. What is it? 13 minus 1, so 12.
Boars. Yeah, so your boar is just kind of again sniffing around and doing as it was instructed to, and it's distracted. There's so many scents here, all sorts of creatures, and you can hear them. You can hear the birds in the sky. You can kind of hear like chipmunk like creatures just like chittering in the background. Nothing seems out of the ordinary that shouldn't be, and things that should be in a forest seem to be in this forest, and the boar just isn't really picking up on anything that would lead dangerous, or that would like feel dangerous.
Can I aid him by looking for humanoid tracks specifically?
Yes.
15.
Okay, 15. Give me 1 second. Sorry, just pumping up my audio volume real quick. Thank you for letting me know. All right, hopefully this is a little bit better. Okay. So while you're kind of like looking around, again, this is very unfamiliar woods. You can tell because as you're kind of roaming around, you know what a forest should look like, but this seems too foresty. The trees are too big, the leaves are too large, and even though you're trying to look around, it's incredibly difficult to try to find humanoid footprints in this. It has to be at least a foot thick worth of moss and just other like foliage and forest debris that are on the ground. There are massive stones kind of like strewn about everywhere. Not to mention you have just tons of different types of flowers that are crawling up these stones, different types of toadstools all around the area. As far as you know, though, there doesn't appear to be anything that looks remotely humanoid as far as footprints go.
And noticing all the flora, it looks normal, like daisies and irises, or...
Yeah, some of it does look normal. Others look strange. Maybe some colors that you've never seen in a plant before, or a shape of a plant that you've never seen before. Different trees might have different types of fruit, or bushes that have different berries in them that look similar to things that you may have known from home. But you're trying to rack your brain for it, and it's just like hitting a brick wall. You either can't remember it, or it's completely foreign to you.
I don't mean to alarm any of y'all or anything like that, but does any of this look familiar to you? I've been to a lot of forests in my life, and I really can't recognize much of this. And she just turns around to look at everybody who's visible right now.
Well, technically I'm visible because I'm apparently really bad at hiding.
I don't really recognize any of this either. I know what forests look like, but I've never seen one like this.
Not know where we are.
Is there a path or anything? Or does it seem to just be like dense trees everywhere?
This seems completely uninhabited. There is no path, nothing carved out. There doesn't appear to be any markings that somebody may have left behind. This looks just wild overgrowth.
I'm going to try to climb this tree so I can get a better look around.
Yeah, sure.
Should I roll something?
That would be an athletics check. I was gonna say a climb check, but that's the wrong version of D&D.
I got a 10.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you could get up. Some of the trees are pretty thick. I don't need that dice. It's fine. Some of the trees are thick, and some of the bark, though, is really what helps you climb up. Your hands can just fit neatly in the crevices of the bark from some of these trees. So you manage to very easily start climbing up, get onto a branch, move on to another branch, and you peer out, and you're not quite high enough to see over the canopy of trees, as they are very, some of them are just incredibly tall, but you do get a pretty good look of the area kind of around you. You might see like a stag off in the distance, just kind of standing around. Maybe a couple other types of little critters. In the tree itself, you might see a couple black squirrels. You could see nests of birds as they kind of like fly between the canopy. Is there anything in particular you're looking for?
Just any idea of a direction that we should go in. I basically just need like the smallest excuse to make a decision.
Okay. Well, it's a cloudy sky, but go ahead and roll me a survival check real quick.
Oh, nice. I have proficiency.
Yeah, let's see if you can kind of determine.
12.
12. Okay, that's not bad. Yeah, the sun is shining through, although it looks strange because on one hand there is a sun to the north, but on the other hand there's another slight light radiating from the sky, and it confuses you.
I'm very confused as to why the sun is in the north.
From where you are, yeah.
The north from where I am?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That took me a second to process. I'm gonna climb down and kind of slowly come out from behind the tree and point up to that other light and say, well, there's some light over that way, and the sun is to the north. But maybe we should check out that light. And there's also this stag over in that direction. That looked pretty cool.
Were there any animals towards the other light that you saw? I'm just saying, because generally you want to go where the animals are and not where they're not.
Most likely there were animals like everywhere.
Okay. Anybody else got a better idea?
Before we start going, can I search the area that we like woke up from? Like the area where we were all laying down?
Yeah, absolutely.
See if I can notice anything there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead and roll perception.
Okay.
I'm going to check my pockets. If I have anything.
That is an 18 on perception.
Okay, fantastic. So you kind of are patting around the area that you had pushed up from. The outline of your body, your massive 8-foot body, is still impressioned within the moss and the foliage, but doesn't seem to be any other indicator that it was an important spot. Anything that you may have had on you is still on you. You haven't lost anything. Your weapons, if you had them in your hands, maybe like a foot away or so. But other than that, there's nothing unusual about the area where you woke up from.
Okay.
And Kika, if you had things in your pockets, they are still there. If any of them have your name or a name on it, it might be your name.
Well, I'm guessing I would have my sling and my crystal. And possibly a dagger. And maybe my one day of rations.
Rations are important when you're wandering in a forest.
Yeah. Maybe the dagger might have my name engraved in it.
Okay. Does it have your full name?
I think it's just my first name.
Okay. Okay. So you can look down on it and you just see this engraving of some words.
There's words on my knife thing.
What language is it written in?
Common, most likely.
Okay.
I do speak common.
What does it say?
I would say chrysanthemum.
Chrysanthemum.
Yeah. Do you think it belongs to a flower?
Oh, it might. Did you know any flowers?
I don't know.
Can flowers hold daggers?
You don't have to hold something to own it.
That is very true.
I guess maybe let's keep a lookout on on chrysanthemum. Maybe we are delivering a dagger or something.
Maybe. Let's start moving. Let's just go.
Towards the light?
Yes, I think. Yes. Because we need to decide on a direction or else we're just going to stand here forever.
All right, towards the light we go.
Follows.
All right. So you start heading towards this light in the sky. And again, you hear just the natural sounds of the forests. I'd actually like all of you to make a perception check.
13.
Okay.
A 7.
We're doing great on rolls tonight.
That's
16.
Okay.
10.
Oh. All right. So
I got a +5 to perception, y'all.
I have a +4.
+4 here too.
I love it. It's the dice. Now, Audrey, you are used to understanding nature in some pretty deep and intimate ways. And as everybody is just kind of walking and shuffling along, you start to pick up on the fact that the sounds of the forest seem to be diminishing the further you go towards this light source. And you kind of take pause for a moment as eventually there are no more birds chirping. There are no more sounds of the scampering little critters along the floor. What are you doing?
I think he stops in his tracks and says, "Y'all, I think we're heading to something really dangerous." Do you hear that? It's quiet.
Is it dangerous for animals or for people or for both?
Usually for both if it's for animals.
Well, not always. A lot of animals do tend to avoid people. So, I don't know. I just thought that maybe there might be people.
Look around though. There's not tracks, no houses. These animals wouldn't care about people. I haven't seen anything that would give that impression. How does her boar look? Does he look a little nervous?
Roll perception for the boar.
19.
Okay. Yeah. Those sounds have kind of again diminished and little kind of sniffing at the air. Seems uneasy.
Does he kind of like look like he maybe wants to go back, or is he just
On alert.
Well, Santo here doesn't seem to like this area much either, so maybe this isn't the right way to go.
Question. What is the boar saying?
Oh, you're going to speak with animals?
No, as my class, I can decipher the actions and sounds that animals make.
Okay.
I love it.
So Santo is understanding that the area is something's coming. Be alert.
Everyone get on your guard. Sorry. Everyone get on your guard. Santo says that something's coming.
I immediately climb a tree.
Okay.
I immediately take out my longsword and like spin it and just like get into a fighting stance position.
I got a natural 20 on tree climbing.
You climb that tree, girl. Get up there.
You're
You make it look
motivated
easy.
climbing.
My character
Tree.
my character's holding his staff in front of him, looking very like concerned and nervous.
I got a 19 total for hiding in this tree.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the tree, man. This was your tree.
Yeah, the other one, that was a bad tree. This one here, you live here now.
A good climbing tree.
Saniso, what are you doing?
I'm gonna walk forward a bit, my bow out to the ready, and I'll look behind me and tell everybody to just give me a second. Give me a second, and I'm gonna go check out, see if maybe there's something up a little bit ahead.
Okay. At this time, I would like all of you to roll initiative.
No.
I refuse. What if like your players just refuse to roll initiative?
Then I'd kill you all.
Goodbye.
The ground rumbles and splits open as you fall to your doom.
Trees fall, everyone dies.
Yeah.
End of campaign. I got a 14 on initiative.
Oh, I should actually keep track.
Write it down, maybe.
Yeah, that's
I
a
got
thing that
12.
DMs do.
16.
All right, so Sinisa, you got a 16. Kika, you got a 12.
Yep.
Audrey?
16.
Audrey got a 16. You two can determine which one would like to go first. Just let me know.
Sinisa can go first because
Okay.
Audrey's waiting. Audrey is scared.
Audrey. And then Rental, what did you roll? 14?
14.
14?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I can type today as well. Next time I'm just going to get a piece of paper and do this. It's much faster. And then... Alright. Okay. So, Sinisa, as you are bowed at the ready, your boar next to your side, alert as ever, you can barely make out this creature that just goes skittering across about maybe 30 yards in front of you. What are you doing?
How tall is the grass?
There's not really grass. It's like moss and brush. So the brush can be anywhere from a foot off the ground to several feet high. It's kind of a very rocky terrain. Anybody that is not around you would actually start considering their movement to be difficult terrain. Just a heads up. Because I believe your you preferred terrain was forest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
How big did it look?
It looked about maybe 3 feet tall and about 4 or 5 feet long. It's pretty big. What are you doing?
I guess I'm gonna shoot at it. Maybe.
Okay. It skittered away, so go ahead and roll, but with disadvantage. We'll see if you're able to nick it.
Um,
I feel you.
okay, let's see. Oh, +7. Okay. 15.
Okay. Yeah. So as you tell me how you want to hit this, you explain.
I'm more just trying to make it maybe jump up or make itself known a bit more. So just gonna focus, concentrate, and let an arrow fly.
Okay. So as it's dashing across this area, you actually manage to get at its kind of like hind quarter, and you hear like a "Ah!" as it like squeals and lurches upwards to stand upright for just a moment. And you now can see this creature in all of its glory. It is incredibly long-bodied with thick, short legs and tinier arms with a long tail. As far as you know, this looks like an oversized weasel. Dark grays and greens kind of mixed in its skin, and it has these beady yellow eyes with large teeth, and it whips around and looks at you. How much damage did you do?
Oh, that's a good question. How much damage did I do? 5.
5. Awesome. Perfect. Thank you. All right, Audrey. You're up.
So Audrey, seeing this creature, is going to hold his action because the creature hasn't proven itself to be a threat yet. So the trigger for my action is going to be if the creature attacks, I'd like to use Thorn Whip.
Okay.
Besides that, he's going to move a little closer to Seniza. Is that how I pronounce it? Okay.
Yeah,
Sinisa?
Sinisa.
Sinisa?
Seniza. Okay. All right. Yeah, then that's all he's going to do for his turn.
All right, sounds good. I need all of you to make another perception check for me. One, 2, 3, 4.
Got 18.
Okay.
I got 19.
Okay.
Got a 10.
Okay.
Got a 5.
Oh, boyo! You rolling great. Or not. It's split 50-50 tonight. So,
She's freaking out.
Audrey and Sinisa, the two of you, especially Sinisa, you are focused on this creature that just reared up from slightly beyond your physical reach. And Audrey, you are watching this happen, kind of waiting to cast your spell. And that kind of leaves you a little blind for a moment as you are hyper-focused. And two other creatures come rearing out, charging at you from either side. Audrey, let's see. Nope, that's a terrible roll for me. That's a 7.
That doesn't hit, thankfully.
Okay. So
I'm squishy. Please don't hurt me.
how did this thing manage to miss you?
I think that he catches it at the last second in the corner of his eye, and he takes a step back and almost pushes it away with his staff.
Okay. And it just kind of like skids off to the side, slipping for a moment, trying to frantically get its footing back in the moss to rear around and snarl at you with its massive weaselly mouth and just glaring with those beady yellow eyes. And then Sinisa, oh man, my rolls tonight. No. 14. There's a 14 hit.
Yes.
Okay. So we get one in. As you are standing there, again, hyper-focused, waiting to see what this massive creature ends up doing, you are just pushed down from the side as this creature comes and attacks you. You can hear your boar, Santo, just kind of like snorting, also in shock, because he knew that there were more than one creature here, but didn't recognize that there was one nearby. And you are going to take... Of course I rolled max damage. 7 points of piercing damage. What are you at? Because I forgot level 2 is pretty low. Yeah. It's pretty bad. 11. Okay. Okay. It's fine. And that is its turn as it like sinks its fangs into the side of your leg. Rental, you're up.
I am assuming that the holder of Chrysanthemum's dagger is going to deal with the one near Audrey. So I will go run up to Sanisa and try to stab the one that's attacking her with my long sword. Let's see, equipment. Because I don't know what numbers to add to this because I'm so spoiled by roll 20. All right.
Excuse me.
On 11. What is my two hit? To hit or not to hit? That is the. What do I add?
I know you're right on that cusp. You are right. You're either gonna get it or you're not.
Oh, there it is. I found the tab. Okay, so that's +4. So a 15.
All right, 15 will absolutely hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
1d8. That's the one that looks like the d4. Okay. I'm great at this, guys. And dice. This is a d8, so this is a 6, not a 9. All right. 6 plus 4 is a 10.
Okay, hot diggity. Go ahead and explain how you hit this creature.
I like almost purely out of instinct, not really recognizing my own skill set, I think at this point. I just see something approaching one of my new found group member friend, and I see them get attacked pretty hard by this thing, and I just instinctively just go off on a dash. I have already like ready to attack. I see this thing coming right before it hits Anissa, so I'm already on the run. I go up and I move my longsword and I hold it sort of horizontally and I swing it down to get its attention and also to just really hurt it a lot. Get out of the way, get off of Sanisa, stop attacking her.
You hear the cry of this weaseled creature, and as your blade just guts it deeply, it literally eviscerates it, and some of its insides start kind of bulging out, and it wails in pain, very much mortally wounded. Got anything else in you?
And stay back. No, I don't have another attack.
Alrighty, Chris. What are you doing? From your tree, you have visual on 3 weasels.
On the most injured one, I am going to attack it with my sling.
Okay.
Okay, that is a 15 total.
Okay, 15 will hit.
Nice. 1d4 plus 3 is 6 damage.
Dang, from a sling.
Slings are good.
I know, they're fantastic. Go ahead and describe how you kill this creature.
Basically, like a walnut or something flies out of the tree brush and hits the creature like right between the eyes.
awesome. So perfect. The blow itself may not have killed it, but it certainly knocked it unconscious, and the bloody wound that it is just profusely draining all types of body stuff from, it's out for the count. And Sinisa, for now, you are relatively safe as your own wounds are bleeding. But we are going to sneak back up to the top of the order.
I call
Back
up from
to
the
you.
tree. Maybe you can scare the others off now.
Yes.
Question. Did the first weasel ever attack?
Oh, nope. It
Okay.
did not.
All right.
That was my bad. Thanks.
Darn it.
That was my bad. We'll skip it. They'll get a turn the next time around.
It's mainly my ready action
I
doesn't get to go off
It
then.
does. That's how those things work. I don't like readied actions, but that's me. Sinisa, go ahead.
Gonna look up and thank you. That was very helpful. And she's gonna stand up and the other one that was coming through to hit Audrey is still visible, right?
Oh yeah, Audrey is technically engaged with this creature.
Just out of muscle memory or something, she's gonna do a quick snap of her head towards the other creature and give a high-pitched whistle.
Mhm.
And Santo's gonna what is the attack called? I think he's gonna charge over.
Ooh, yeah, that boar charge.
Yeah.
Thanks, 12-sided.
Of course, now I can't find the stupid thing. Charge. Okay, yeah. So he's gonna charge. I think it's just 11.
Okay. So you see Santo, kind of scuffing their hoof on the ground and flinging back some of the moss as it's tearing it up from the ground, and just starts charging towards Audrey, aiming for this giant weasel that is rearing up, ready to attack him again. And the weasel is quick, unfortunately. Too fast for the heavy-set boar, and just slips to the side for a moment, almost like taunting a bull, and just sneers and jitters at the boar. And Santo is not too happy, running a couple feet ahead, only to turn around and realize that he missed.
Oh, poor baby. Okay. Hoping that distracts the stupid weasel, I'm gonna shoot an arrow at it then.
Okay.
19.
Okay, 19's absolutely going to hit.
Okay. Eight plus 11 points.
Okay, so 11 points to weasel number 2. Hot diggity. Okay. Go ahead. How do you hit this?
As I'm standing, I start focusing again as Santo runs past, and when I notice the creature do its quick little dash to get away, that's exactly when I shoot, and I'm aiming for a flank or a hind quarter.
Yeah, and you hit it. That just glorious sound of the arrow sliding in between the flesh, and the weasel again kind of roars for a moment, unsure of which creature at this point now to attack. It is a little bit confused. There seem to be multiple things that are defending itself, and it's not looking good. Not looking good at all. Audrey.
Okay, so what's the battlefield looking like right now? We have one dead weasel and there's 2 more.
There's a dead weasel. There's one that is technically engaged with you, that just got hit with the arrow. And there is another one that was hit with an arrow about 30 feet in front of you.
Okay. Um, and the one that Santo was engaged with is the one that's 30 feet away from me.
No, it's the one that's on
Oh,
you.
in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna do something dumb and run away from the one that's attacking him and go towards the other weasel.
Okay.
And I will gladly take the attack of opportunity.
It is going to snap at your heels as you try to run away. Mother front door. It's not going to hit. You have 9, right? You're higher than 9. 16?
I'm higher than 9, yeah.
Okay. Nope, you're just... It's too injured. It may have actually succeeded in snapping at your foot and keeping you in place, but because the wound from the arrow on its side, it just couldn't make its movements like it normally does.
All right. So he's going to run 15 feet towards the other one because it's difficult terrain. Mm-hmm. And he gets down low, like trying to like decrease his size, but he's still like 6 feet tall, even leaning down. And he says, "Okay, little buddy, there's no reason to get all worked up. We're all friends here." And he's going to cast Animal Friendship.
Ooh, okay.
So that is a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Do they have wisdom? Oh, they do have wisdom. Not a lot. That is a 15.
Dang it, my saving throw is a 13.
No! Oh, that would have been so cute. Just collect all of the pets. I'm all for it. It kind of like stares at you. Do you have any other actions? Anything else you want to do?
So I think he realizes that the spell isn't working, and he goes, "Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to get hurt, so bye." And he turns invisible for a second, using Hidden Step.
Dang! Okay, so the weasel, being its turn, looks like it's ready to just jump at you and close in on that 15 feet, but you are gone. Visually are gone. What? This is... But there are still others that they can attack. So, weasel number 2... who was engaged, is going to... Oh, God. Sound scares the crap out of me every time. You guys can't hear it. I can hear it. It's every time somebody follows. It sounds like an arrow being fired right into my head. It's so loud. Weasel number 2, though, is going to charge at... the person that shot it with an arrow. So, it's running towards you, and that is a 21 to hit.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a good roll for me. Okay, you are going to take 4 points of piercing damage as it, again, kind of lunges at you, this time sinking some teeth down into your arm. Not through it, though, but just enough to kind of scrape through as it kind of howls in your face now. The other weasel is going to run and charge at Renthal instead. That is with a 19.
Yep, that hits.
Okay. Okay, you're going to take 5 points of piercing damage as it too kind of just managed to kind of crush through any armor that you have. You almost feel like maybe it could have broken a bone at this point, but doesn't. But god dang, this is a big, heavy creature, and those teeth can do a lot of damage. That is it for them. Renthal, it is your turn.
I am going to attack the one that bit me first, or at least try to with my long sword. Woo! Thank you, mouse cord. All right, that's a 16 natural, so I'm assuming it hits.
Oh yeah, that hits.
Before I have to look for how much. Add on to
You're
this.
fine.
Oh, it's a dirty 20 is what it would have been. All right, and that's a D8. Ooh! 7 plus 4 is 11. I am going to I'm paying attention to Sanisa and the one that's attacking Sanisa, and I don't see the one attacking me in time. So I see it just in time for it to like crunch down on, I'm assuming like my flank or my leg. And so I go from swinging down on this guy, and I come back with the backswing and just like stab down at it. I'm assuming, and I catch it just like right in the middle of that little noggin
Ooh.
to get it off of
Just-
me.
As soon as your blade sinks in and slips through the bone of the skull, the body just drops limp, dead.
And I'm gonna use my second wind to try and attack again the one that's attacking Sanisa.
Okay.
I mean, your action surge.
That one.
Yes.
That one. You were 100% correct.
I totally knew what you meant, though.
To be honest with you, I don't know what the words that came out of my mouth were. I was 100% just reading words on the page.
You said second wind.
Second win, yeah.
Second win.
That's your healing ability.
Yeah, you know.
Fighters.
And that is going to be a 16
Yep, 16 will hit.
for Oh. No, wait. I picked up the wrong one. Let me put that one away. It's this one. No, not that dice. This one. Because that happened to me earlier today. That is a 5.
5.
5 plus 4, so 9.
Dang, beautiful. Nice. Go ahead and explain your action, though. It's still live, but...
So I stabbed down at this one, and with that adrenaline of it attacking me, and I am watching Sanisa just literally just getting bullied so hard by these guys. I come back with a swing again, and I try to slash it the same way I did the last one. Since it's probably in the same exact spot, I just, repeating the attack. It's like, bang,
So this one kind of shifts just out of the way, but you do gouge a nice chunk of its shoulder, and it is bleeding again profusely, looking pretty weak right now. Chris, it is your turn.
I'm gonna take another slingshot at it.
I love slings. It's so good.
Yeah, that's all I know right now.
Makes me miss my little guy.
That will be a 21 total to hit.
Oh, yes. Oh, indeed. Does a 21 hit a giant weasel?
And that will be 5 damage.
Okay. So close, but not quite. You managed to conk it in the head again. Your aim pretty steady and true, and it sways for a moment, kind of shaking its head.
I'm going to try to scare it off by yelling really loud.
Okay. Go ahead and roll intimidation and let us know kind of how you're doing this.
I'm just going, go away, go away. 17 total.
Okay. 17. I rolled a nat 18. So it
Okay.
hears you, but I don't think it cares at this point. Its companions are down. It is bleeding profusely. Its head and vision are just swirling around, and it just doesn't seem to notice any other actions.
No, I don't think so. I think that's it.
Okay. Sanisa, it is your turn.
Is he still on me?
Yes. Yes, that is the one that is on you.
And this is the one with the arrow, right?
This has been arrowed, slingshotted, and sliced.
All right. So I just want to rip the arrow out and then stab it into his head.
Okay.
He's in pain and he needs to just go now.
Oh, all right. Go ahead and roll a strength to pull your arrow back out. And you can roll it with advantage.
17.
Okay, you managed to rip that arrow out, and now roll your attack. Suddenly you hear the wolves barking in the distance. They hear the call of a fallen comrade.
It's just a 10.
Good. So you just pulled this arrow out of the weasel's leg, and you go to stab it again with the arrow because improvised weapon, it works, it's fine. And but because you had pulled it out, it shifted just enough where you just completely miss it, almost tumbling over yourself and losing your footing because of the moss in the ground.
Yeah, I got my arrow back. That's the important part.
You did get your arrow back. Intact, it's still usable. What else are you doing?
I'm still upright. He didn't push me down.
Yeah, no, he didn't push you down. You almost.
I just want to move a little out of the way so that if anybody else wants to attack him, I'm not in their sight or in their way.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Santo wants to come and block me. So anything that tries to attack me, they can attack him first.
Okay. So seeing that you are hurt and that you're injured,
yes.
and Santo has already missed this creature, he kind of comes like snorting back up to you and kind of pushes himself in front of you, standing tall, that little butt tail kind of like flapping, very much at the ready, waiting to defend you.
Okay, that's my action.
Okay. It is now the weasel's turn, who is bloodied, incredibly hurt. Oh, yeah, Audrey. You're invisible! I fucking noticed you.
I'm invisible.
Clearly, please.
I'm clearly the unloved child in this group. So while still invisible, Audrey's going to get close up to this weasel and like whisper in its ear, "Just run, little buddy. You can go home. You can be okay. You can be safe." And he's going to try and convince this creature to leave. And he's saying this in Sylvan, so the creature can understand.
Okay.
And because of Furbolg abilities, he has an advantage on the charisma check.
Mm-hmm.
So that is persuasion and 18.
Okay. Okay, so you're kind of in this calm voice, and being one with nature, so to speak, the creature kind of looks to you for a moment and looks back at all of the others and kind of lowers its disposition a bit and starts to take a step back. Does anybody attack it? Okay. So it starts moving backwards and still kind of like now staring at you, Audrey.
I'm invisible.
Oh, then never mind. Super not staring at you. So it's staring at the rest of the party, really, and just kind of like crawls back and for a brief moment considers the words, but pushes itself upwards, so it is now standing tall on its hind legs and just lets out this shrill call. And apparently I break my camera doing that.
Yeah, apparently.
What the fuck just happened? I didn't even touch anything. I don't even know.
Perfect.
All right. I'll figure it out when we go on break in a moment. And so you hear this weasel make this just awful shrill howl. And we will just take a break right there for a second. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Give us about 5 minutes. Let our wonderful players here take a little bio break, get some water and refreshments, and I'm gonna fix my camera, I guess. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Love you all. Hang tight. Hello. And welcome back. My camera overheated. Yay. Good thing we have backup cam. So, at last we left off. In the middle of the woods, in this strange and overgrown wilds, where two giant weasels lay dead near your feet, bleeding out, and one kicked back on its hind legs, shrieking for the entire woods to hear. It stands there and stares at all of you again with these yellow, beady little eyes. Thank you. And you aren't sure what to do. What are you doing? Watching this creature who is dying, very injured.
Does any of us?
Is it not running away?
It moved back from everybody to cry out.
Wait, we attacked that one? That was an attacked one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
It is
sounds
very
good.
damaged.
it is very damaged.
Oh. Well, go kill it. It's misery.
I would like to use Thorn Whip non-lethally.
To not kill it?
To not
Kill it.
okay.
That is a 12 to hit.
A 12 actually does not hit.
No.
Then I'll do it with my sling.
Anything.
Its AC is 13.
Dirty 20.
Right there. Oh, dang. Okay, well, explain how you kill it. It had 1 HP.
I was knocking it out.
Okay.
Just another rock flies out of the tree and hits it in the side of the head.
And you just hear, thump, and it just stands there and like wobbles on its hind legs. Again, standing, almost 5 feet tall, swaying for a moment before thump, down into the mossy ground.
I thought we should just knock them out because I don't want to destabilize the natural habitat.
That's what I was hoping for too, honestly, but he looks over at the one whose guts have been cut out and the other one who has a knife slot on its forehead, and he's like, but I don't really see how well that turned out.
I do the Will Smith to Sanisa, who is like bleeding profusely from all her wounds. Just like, and my leg that's slightly bleeding.
So I look at Rental and I'm like, thank you so much for your help. And then I get really angry and I look to Audrey and I'm like, are you going to do this for every fight? Because you can't save everything. These little bastards were trying to kill us. That was a hunting pack order. They were out for food or something. And you over here whispering in little people's ears telling them that they need to be running on. That's not good. I don't like that. Because she can't speak Sylvan.
She gonna teach you, boy. Is she gonna teach you?
And he says, I just don't believe that it's right for us to be running into other people's homes and killing them.
Technically, they ran at us.
Technically, thank you.
And I don't see you very hurt. We were the ones who had to fend them off.
Yes, but you could have always hit him with the side of your blade. You didn't have to slice them open.
Well, I don't have a side of an arrow, okay? I was trying to keep them away.
And he sort of walks away from the conversation, and he's going to go up to the two that are dead. And he's going to use Druidcraft to grow flowers where they have their cuts and marks from where they got hurt.
Okay. And you do so successfully. Any descriptive thing in particular you want to mention?
I think that when he goes over to the one who's been sliced open, like completely, he grows this almost rose bush with like thorns coming out of it, so it covers the entire wound, almost like it's stitching it back together. And when he goes over to the other one, he grows a single white lily out of that like mark on its forehead. And with the one that's like asleep, I think he makes almost a bed of leaves and places it under its head so that when it wakes, it will hopefully be a little rested.
Okay. It's very, very sweet. As you are doing that, what is everybody else doing? And what is everybody's passive perceptions?
Well, since I got a nat 20 on climbing this tree, I am assuming I probably have a better position for looking around than in that last tree. I'm probably looking around.
Okay. Roll me an active perception check. But everybody else, what is your passive?
14.
I got a dirty 20.
Okay.
And passive is 15.
Mm-hmm. Sanisa?
14.
14? Okay. So, Chris, you hear, or you don't even hear, you can see some rustling in the brush, some trees just from one direction, and then another, and then another, and another. And now I sound like DJ Khaled, so hopefully you get the picture.
Like,
there's some things coming.
Guys, things are coming. Maybe you should climb this tree.
Can I use Thorn Whip to help me climb the tree?
Yeah. Roll with advantage.
Can I also, like, explain to the others, like, how I climbed this tree so that maybe they have an easier time of it and thusly be doing a help action for them?
Yes. Are you all climbing?
Yeah, is this athletics?
Yes, this would be an athletics check.
Everyone's
that's
advantage.
an 18 with my Thorn Whip.
Okay.
I like to think that he just uses it as a grappling hook, like throws it up and goes upwards.
Again, this 8-foot furbolg who probably could have just reached up to just get up there with like no problem. Grappling hook. I love it.
I got a 15.
Okay.
I got a 16, but I also have a problem. Not leaving my pig down here.
Pig can't climb.
I have some rope. Can I put it around his waist and then around my waist?
You're not going to have enough time.
He's a pig. He's going to get eaten.
I could try and bring him up with a Thorn Whip.
Is it going to hurt him?
A little bit, but it's probably better than being eaten alive by weasels.
Please, and I heard you talking to him before. Can you just explain to him why? I'm like petting him, like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'll look at the board and be like, hey, little buddy, this is going to hurt a little bit, but it's going to keep you alive, okay?
And I'm explaining it's okay. It's okay.
I don't know what that means, because the DM hasn't explained it yet.
Yeah, you have to have the sound effects. How often do you get a snort in a game? Please let me just live my best DM life. Because in my head, I wish I could do like a Timon and Pumbaa type accent and make that work and make that other dream come true. I can't. I can't do that voice. So you get snorts. But it just like it looks at you like over my dead body. And it's just like shaking its head.
Even with me poking at him, telling him it's okay. Do it. No, you gotta do it, buddy. Buddy, you gotta. Just do it, please.
So, in the meantime, as you're all trying to coax quite loudly this pig up a tree, and you all now can hear the rustling of the foliage around you, some things are coming, and you then hear jumping out from one bush another weasel that just shrieks at you. Ah! And another one, and another, and just several of them now are kind of crawling towards you all. Two of you down on the ground, still pressed up against the tree, Sinisa and the pig.
I'm going to take out
What are you doing?
my fist-sized citrine from my pocket and try to cast sleep on as many as I can.
Okay.
Which is a 20-foot radius sphere.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be 5d8, I believe, worth of hit points that I can knock unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
So let me roll that out. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Let me pull out the trusty calculator.
15, 19, 27.
Okay, so 27.
27 hit points worth of creatures.
Okay, so
Starting with the one with the lowest hit points.
you notice that as you cast this, and what does your magic look like? Because this is the first time we've now seen you use magic. Go ahead and explain that.
Yeah, it's almost like instinctual panic. She just pulls out the citrine and sort of points it at them and says something in a language she probably doesn't seem to understand, and just basically it looks like glitter shoots out of the gem towards them.
Yes,
And
I
then
love
just, like,
it.
bursts and rains down on top of them.
Okay, so you all now can see this magical essence kind of coating some of the area, and while some of the weasels are snarling and continuing to approach, 3 of them seem quite sluggish as they are slowly making their way closer and closer, but just can't seem to keep up with the rest of their party, and eventually they fall and kind of curl into little weasel balls and fall asleep. What are the rest of you doing?
Also, do you want me to roll a wild magic surge?
Oh, hell yes I do! Every time!
Okay, so that is
Fireball.
a 10, which means I cast magic missile at 5th level.
Holy shit! Woo!
I'm glad I didn't get a 7 or 8 because that would have been a 3rd level fireball centered
on you, which is the entire party. Whoa!
Except maybe Santo. Santo would have survived that. Only survivor.
Wowzers! All right. Well, go ahead and tally that up. Figure how many blasts you get to do.
4 plus 7. That's 2, 3, 5, 7, 12, 17,
Excuse me.
20. How many did I roll?
I'm not counting.
I think I rolled 5. 19, 24 damage total.
Okay.
So I think I'll divide that in 2 for like 2 of the ones that I didn't sleep.
Okay, so 24 total, and you want to divide it evenly amongst the rest?
I want to divide it in 2,
Okay.
targeting 2 that I didn't already.
Oh, okay, cool. Sure. And what does this look like? Because you just cast. Something went wrong?
I think a few like sparks shoot like out of her citrine, and then like these two like rainbow streams of missiles shoot out like at the same time away from her, and she panics. She's like, oh no, ah.
So those two rainbow streams shoot out and with no rhyme or reason in direction of where it goes. You see them kind of twist and twirl, cutting through leaves and branches, and eventually finding purchase on two of the weasels who are not standing, but who are unscathed from the sleeping spell. Blown back about 5 feet and now charred on each of their sides where they were hit. They are still up, but looking really rough. So that's 12 points of damage done to two of them.
And I say, yeah, go away, you jerks.
While she's doing the magic, is that enough time for Sinisa to climb up the tree?
For Sinisa, yeah.
Okay. I rolled a 16 originally. Do you want me to re-roll?
No, because that was your tree climb. That's fine. No, that's
And
fine.
while she's climbing, she's gonna shout up to whip the pig, please.
As whip the pig. I love D&D.
Please.
Pardon me, please. Audrey, as you are getting ready to cast your spell to Thorn Whip
the pig.
to whip the pig, please, up a tree to bring it to safety, maybe, hopefully, you don't know. These things are pretty big. They might be able to climb. Something stops you. There are two glistening objects that fly through the air, and each of them crash into the ground near the weasels. The sound of glass shattering, and this boom of yellowish smoke erupts. Oh God, Sinisa, you're the only one on the ground. Oh no, you climbed. You're good. You're fine.
Climbed.
You're fine.
The boar's on the ground.
The boar's on the ground. So hang tight real quick. I need to make some rolls. Okay. Sinisa, roll me a Constitution saving throw for Santo.
Could at the explosion, would I be able to quickly cast mold earth to take a 5-foot cube of dirt that is under the pig and move it to next to the pig so it has cover and it falls in a little trench?
I'm going to say because you just cast and had wild magic sorcery go off that you're probably not quick enough to cast another thing.
That makes sense.
But that's great. I like that.
I
And
rolled
the whip was stopped by the smoke.
Yeah.
Would you roll?
I rolled a 14, but I don't know how to calculate a saving throw for him.
What is his Constitution modifier?
+1.
+1? Okay, so 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
That's it. You're good. So this smoke, you can hear some of the weasels like crying out, squealing again, and other sounds of just thuds as their bodies hit the floor. The pig Santo doesn't seem to be affected by whatever gas has now covered at the base of the tree in which you are all up in. And
Chris just looks at her citrine and asks it, "Did you do that?"
it answers back.
What does it say?
It doesn't answer back.
Oh,
Maybe later. This smoke, though, is filling up the area, and from your perch now up in the tree, you could see some of these weasels scampering away, completely scattering from the scene. Maybe about 3 or 4 of them were able to escape the smoke cloud, although they are coughing and sneezing and just making some terrible sounds that animals don't typically make as they are running away from the scene. But then you notice that there's a little wind that kind of comes and just starts pushing away the smoke. And from a distance, standing on top of a rock, again covered in moss, as everything in this particular forest does, is... Oh God, where did my document go? That's nice. GG gnome. Okay. Is this figure standing tall upon this rock, wrapped in patchwork cloth of greens and yellows and browns, with a large bulbous nose and rounded ears that are poking from underneath a blue knitted cap, with white hair frayed around the edges. Her face resembles bark from the nearby trees, both carved deeply by weather and by time. Their soft brown eyes are nearly hidden by this wild and thick eyebrow that hangs right over them. And as the smoke clears and now you have a much better view, you notice a gnome, a very elderly gnome. And she doesn't seem to care that you're there and just holds up her fists and says, "Always a menace to those weasels." What are you doing?
Are you going to attack us?
What? Who said that?
Up here in the tree.
You have to take a pee? She's like, those little brown, soft doe eyes are like looking around for where this voice came from.
I'm gonna cast dancing lights and have them like form a line pointing up to me.
And she like, one by one, you can just watch her head as she's like following the lights up to the tree. I don't talk to trees anymore.
I'm in the tree.
Audrey's gonna drop down from the tree.
Yeah, I've already started jumping.
Same. Need to check on my pig.
Santu seems fine, just kind of coughing and like digging at the ground with his paw, a little frustrated at whatever had flooded his nostrils.
Can you voice act the pig coughing?
You're blowing out the mic.
Yeah, rip all of your ears. I don't have to hear that. And this old, ancient, gnomish woman, still staring at the pretty lights up in the tree, but just notices these figures falling from the tree and just kind of like pulls out her staff. You're not going to take my carrots?
No, we're not. We're not going to take your carrots.
We don't even know where your carrots are.
Well, there's none because the weasels keep taking them.
So what you're telling me is that the weasels are a nuisance on this location. Is that what you're saying, ma'am?
Yeah, damn straight.
Oh man, how unfortunate. It would be really nice if someone would come to take care of that so they wouldn't be a nuisance on your home, wouldn't it?
That would be a dream.
Audrey's not paying attention to this.
She's gonna like hobble down from the rock, and it's not like she can gracefully jump down as you stoic heroes can do from a tree. Nope, she has to set the staff down and turn her back a little bit and start crawling down it like a back of a ladder.
Ma'am, do you need help? Can I like shuffle over there, like give her like an arm, shoulder, whatever she'll do to help me.
Thank you. And she kind of like takes you a little bit and helps you help her get down. She smells unique. Unique in the sense that maybe she just bathes in mud. You're not really sure. It's a very earthen smell, but it's there. Very noticeable.
Yeah, it's fine, No problem. You saved our life.
What is your name?
My name is. I look over. What's the first thing I see in this forest? That's not a tree.
Trees. There's toadstools and rocks and insects.
My name is Toll. My name is Toll. Yes, Toll.
That is well, that's a name, I guess. What are you all doing here?
We're lost.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah, can you help us?
I might be able to. Where are you going?
Anywhere where there's civilization, I think.
Fine civilization.
I don't know. I am having trouble with my memory. Do you know who can get my memory back? Oh no, I don't like that laugh. Can you laugh in a way that's less creepy?
Audrey is immediately uncomfortable. Audrey's immediately backing up. He is not about this.
Come. And she takes hold of Rental, of Toll, and starts kind of like tugging you with no strength, but just like expects you to come with. She's leading, and then
guys, I let her lead me off.
I think you belong to her now.
I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna keep up.
Okay. Is anybody else? Or you, Audrey? You jump down. Chris, did you jump down? Are you still
I probably am just getting down now.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow from a safe distance.
She's actually coming towards you all.
Oh.
With Tall, and just kind of like reaches out, or like slides her staff across her chest in a little holster, and reaches out to Audrey and kind of tugs on your clothes as well.
Audrey
I can help
looks
you.
at the rest of the group and whispers, "Help me!" It's just like, "Help me, please. I don't want to go."
I think she's trying to help you.
I don't think she is.
Ma'am, what's your name while we're following you?
My name is Tarova the Old.
Tarova.
Got the old part right.
What did you say? You like the mold, right? I do like the mold. Usually in the morning with tea.
How long have you lived here, ma'am?
I don't know. Come, I'm taking you to civilization.
Does civilization have more than just you? Are there more people? Gnomes, maybe?
Help! Sesame! Come. I will take you. I will make you some tea. It will be great.
Is she pulling us away or towards where the light is?
Towards where the light was.
Oh, okay.
In that direction.
Oh, I
Then
like
I'm
tea.
gonna unwillingly follow her.
Okay. So it takes a little bit of time, probably about maybe an hour's walk through the woods. And passive perceptions.
14.
14, 14, 15.
14.
Okay. Oh, wait, Kiko, you said 15 as well?
14.
Okay. So, Audrey, you notice as you are kind of walking, usually at the passage of time, there's a shift in light. Doesn't seem to be any here. The sun, occasionally you could see it peeking through some of the clouds, and the other source of light, much dimmer than the actual sun, still remains there.
Okay.
He's not really going to say anything about it. He's just
Just
kind
a
of
note.
noting it for future.
So she takes you seemingly on this unbeaten path. Again, there's just lots of moss and toadstools and multicolored stones that litter the ground. But eventually, you come to a slight clearing where there are, stones painted that start forming a path. Where you can step on and kind of avoid your feet sinking in the moss. So it's no longer difficult terrain if you use these steps. And it eventually will lead you into another little clearing where the moss seems to have been pushed aside, but there are still some large stones that this little old lady could clearly not move that are covered with some mold. And there now stands before you, carved into one of the giant toadstools of this forest, is a tiny little cottage. There's a little wooden door with a little wooden circular hole for a window. You can see flowers leading up. There is a very nicely cultivated garden. There are little strings of vines that kind of lead off into the trees in different directions, where a little bit of light kind of twinkles from some seemingly unblossomed buds. And you can also notice, though, that the light that you were staring at, that wasn't nearly as bright as the sun, seems to be hovering over this little area, casting more light in the area to excuse me, just keep it well lit. Little old people sometimes need a little bit more help to see things, especially at night. Still with Renta and Audrey in her hands, she's continuing to take you up closer to the door.
Oh, well, ma'am, I really do apologize, but I don't think I'm going to fit inside of your lovely home.
You just duck. You'll be fine. I've had bigger guests than you.
How low down is this door?
For you, it's probably about you might have to crawl in to get in.
Okay.
It's
Also,
like
thought
a
it'd be around,
5-foot door.
5 feet.
So
Yeah.
really anybody that's over 5 feet, so even like Rental, can have a little bit of difficulty getting in this giant mushroom house.
I'm gonna crawl between Audrey's legs to go inside.
Perfect. So perfect. If you all enter this lovely little place, very much consider it like a little hobbit hovel. It seems incredibly cozy. Everything here is built out of the supplies from the nature around her. It is old. It is cluttered, and there are just jars of things and hanging dried fruits and leaves and just all sorts of items gathered from the forest. There's even on the door, as she opened it and closes it behind you, is a strand of just like animal teeth, little holes sewed in between them to rattle as the door closes behind you. It is dimly lit in here, and it smells of earth, as living in a giant piece of fungus would, but it actually smells also pleasant. There is a constant scent of flora, either from the dried leaves or some of the fresh flowers that are there, or whatever she cooks or makes. It's actually quite pleasant being in here. Yes.
Would the jangling teeth on the back of the door trigger a memory?
Oh. What would you roll for that? Roll. I like that. Roll a wisdom saving throw.
$15.
Okay. Yes. Whatever memory you think you triggered kind of hits you pretty hard. You almost jolt again from like a little headache. You don't have to explain what it is. You can if you want to. But this memory is now yours again.
I think she's going to sit with it because she doesn't really understand it yet.
Okay. Okay. What is everybody else doing?
So I think Audrey isn't fully in the cottage. I think that he's like leaning over and his front half is like through the door and his back half is still outside because it's so small. And when she tries closing the door, she just keeps closing it on his like face and it's like stuck.
She doesn't
like,
quite
"Ma'am."
get it for a moment.
He's like, ma'am, please, I'm in the doorway. I'm in the doorway.
Get in. And she'll open the door and start like trying to tug at you, but she's got no strength.
He's like, ma'am, I'm much too big for your home. If I get inside, this won't be an enclosed space anymore. This will be an open air home.
Well, aren't you a rude one? And she kind of starts
Pushing you out
Okay, he gets pushed out then.
and slams the door shut. And
Okay.
everybody on the inside can see what's going on. But she eventually pops out from the backside of the toadstool. And again, just like frustrated now, though. Like angry great-great-grandma just comes waddling over towards you and grabs your cloth again and starts tugging you.
let's go. Don't be rude.
And
He's gonna follow her.
she's gonna guide you towards the back where there is actually a much larger door. Like a pretty decent-sized people door. It's not a great door, and it's one of those like Dutch doors. So like she can get out just from the bottom part of it, but had to open the top part of it for you to get in. But you're able to make it into this little place.
Okay, so he's inside the house now.
Yeah, and it's actually quite roomy. It's about maybe 11 or 12 feet wide, or at least I should say round. And instead of there being like different floors with different levels, because the tree itself, or the toadstool itself, is about maybe 15 feet high. It is incredibly big, especially for this little lady. But the sides all have about like a 2-foot balcony, and you can kind of walk up if you were small enough. There's a little bed on one part and it kind of winds back up, another little area like a nook, another area where there's maybe some storage stuff, another area where there's a loom for sewing. Like she just walks up and down this carved out spiraled toadstool. So you're able to stand tall and fine in this. Everything else is pretty like, oh boy, there's just little things everywhere. You don't want to sneeze because you'll break something sort of feel to it. Little baubles and trinkets of things.
Yeah, he's very much trying to like hold himself as tight as possible and like not get in anyone's way and not step in anything. And like once he's inside the room, he's not moving. He's like not moving at all.
Okay.
He's not even like turning his head. He's just standing completely still.
So she's gonna kind of, swing around you, and start heading into the little area where there's a stove, and starts tossing some wood onto the stove and getting a little flame going.
What kind of tea do you like? Black tea it is. That is a good fine tea for a growing boy.
And she'll take some water that was like stationed in a bucket and kind of like dump some into this like really old kettle that probably shouldn't be used anymore, but it is. And water splashes kind of down, and she sets it up. What is everybody else doing?
I'm just looking for a place to sit.
There are little, I mean, they're small. They're gnome-sized furniture. Some like just wooden stools that are available. There's a couple kind of scattered throughout the area at different stations of activity. So
I'll take a sit down on one.
And you sit down fine. No problems. It's really low to the ground, but suffice to say it works. It's a stool.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I'm gonna stay close to the door, not examining, but really looking at those teeth, but also keeping Santo close to me, so that he doesn't go charging around and knock anything over.
Santo is like, you have him near you, but he is kind of like some stuff that smells really good. There's like this burlap sack off to the side, and he just like, you're kind of paying attention to him, but like he'll occasionally look back up at you and then like be quiet for a moment and start trying to like pull the threading off of the sack.
Yeah, as soon as he goes silent, though, I just reach over and pat him on the side and go, and then look back over.
And like it'll be this little game throughout the evening of him trying to get into that sack.
Does your boar remember anything?
He apparently remembers how to forage. Little bugger.
Chris is just going to start inspecting her own self like a child will do when they're bored.
Anything in
Check her arms, her legs.
Okay. Rental, what are you doing?
I am walking around just looking at all of the little trinkets around, all the things that like make a home a home. Just trying to get a read on what this gnome is about.
Okay. Roll perception. See what you can piece together here.
Man, that went flying, but that was a good thing because that's a natural 20.
Hey! Alrighty then. So, I mean, the stuff in here is old. And some of it, maybe she kind of forgot even existed. So there might be like an apple core that kind of like just got tossed in a pile of who knows what. And it's just been there for quite some time. But you can gather that she lives here by herself. She's definitely a woman of the woods. You don't see anything, nothing like magical really catches your eye. Everything that is here and in this home appears to be more natural.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm just going to be doing that, just walking back and forth, pacing.
Okay.
Trying to, I think, more in a way that I'm like examining her stuff, but really I'm just a little bit frustrated with my own situation and not being able to remember anything about myself or my life.
So as she's go ahead. Sorry.
After a couple of minutes of everybody kind of doing their own thing, she's gonna go, excuse me, ma'am?
Yes?
where exactly are we?
You're in my home.
It's very, very true. You are correct. But what is this land called, or town, country, forest? What is the forest called? What is there a name?
And she kind of stops what she's doing. You know, she's just starting to prepare some tea, grinding up some dried leaves for you all. And she thinks for a moment, just stops there.
This forest goes by many names. You could just call it a forest. You could call it the Heartmont Forgotten. You could call it the Woods of Serenity. There's a bunch of different names.
What would humans call it?
Humans. There are no humans here.
Then why am I here?
I don't know. Why are you here?
I don't know either.
Well, you should check your memory.
I'm trying.
You need chamomile.
I
Actually,
do like
ma'am.
chamomile.
Actually, ma'am, none of us have our memories.
I thought it was just this one.
She points to Chris.
No, I don't have my memories either.
And she kind of looks to each of you. Sinisa, Rental.
Is that true?
I kind of stubbornly like raise my chin, like look away.
I do the same, pretty much.
I see.
And she kind of like, she has this like wart, and she starts to like rub it like it's a beard. Just in thought. Just,
I see. Well, I have a very good recipe that can help you get your memory back. But I need the ingredients. And I'm not going back out there as long as the weasels are out there.
What are the ingredients we need?
Well, what are the ingredients? I never remember. One moment, please.
and she kind of like whips around and starts like rummaging through a pile of books, just kind of knocking some of them down haphazardly until she finds the one that she's looking for and pulls it out and
Okay. I'm listening.
just thumbs through the book. And eventually she stops on a page and flips it around to show you a terribly drawn picture of a kettle with a little teacup and some like black marking of like to represent like smoke, steam. Clearly she wrote this book and shows it off to you.
I need at least a handful of bloomed inkberry. I need a very, very small amount of thin-leaved butterfly pea. And it must be thin-leaved. I don't want it in the fresh ones. Thin-leaved. And 7 full stems of pokeweed and a bouquet of sneezeworth.
Question.
Yes.
That handful, is that your hand-size handful or like my hand-size handful?
She holds up her hand to yours, which is beep, much smaller.
Your handful.
Okay. Well, that'll be easy. I have my hands.
Do any of these flowers sound familiar?
Roll a whatever one's going to be higher for you, survival or history.
Can I roll as well?
Yes.
I have survival.
Audrey, do you want to roll?
I was gonna ask to roll, but also, can you repeat the list without the voice?
I got
Just
a
because it struggled to translate. That.
Yes, it's fine.
I got a 22.
Okay, so 22
15.
and 15. Okay, we'll get back to you in just a second. Bloomed inkberry, thin-leaved butterfly pea, 7 full stems of pokeweed, and a bouquet of sneezewort.
My survival was a natural 1.
You,
With my +5 is a 6.
yeah, you. Maybe they call them something else where you're from. Just it's not ringing a bell, or maybe it's part of your memory loss. You're not quite sure, but doesn't seem to be ringing a bell. However, though, for Sinisa and Chris, you are quite familiar with the terms of these actual legitimate plants. These are very much real in our real people world. There's just awesome names for some things. You know that the bloomed inkberry is typically a small white flower that blooms in a greenish shrub. Butterflies and bees find them delightful, particularly around this time of year, which doesn't really mean much to you, but usually in weather like this, you see the butterflies, you see a bunch of bees, you probably found the right small white flower that you're looking for. The thin-leaved, which is an odd thing that anybody would want, in particular from a butterfly pea, is actually a really beautiful purple flower that has green leaves. But the flower is typically used in teas. It's very, very nice, pleasant tea. Usually you dry it out, you then can just stick the whole flower, a couple of them in, make a nice tea. It's delicious. It's wonderful. She needs that, but it must be thin-leaved. You then need 7 full stems of pokeweed, which the plant itself can be quite large, and it has this pinkish stem that has several black type, not black berries, but black berries growing off of them. They look really peculiar, almost like a tentacle from like an octopus. It's very strange looking, very beautiful though because of that pinkish color. And she needs 7 of those. And then she also needs a bouquet of sneezewort, which are just a type of white perennials.
Okay, so I know what all those things are, so let's go get them.
That would be most nice. I would make some dinner to go with this, because you're going to want some food in your stomach before you digest this.
Any idea where we might be able to find some of these things?
You can follow some of the light strands. It'll take you to relatively safer points of the woods. And from there, you might be able to find what you're looking for. And most of these are very abundant around here. You could find them, no problem. But I'm tired. This weasels kind of take the best out of me.
She kind of like stares off at the window. She hates those weasels. That is a very murderous stare from what was a once sweet little gnome.
Before we go out to collect all of this, would you happen to have more of those smoke bombs or whatever those were that you threw at those weasels? Just in case.
Sure, sir. Let me go see. And she kind of like opens up the cupboard a bit and pushes aside some pots and some pans and pulls out more glassware. And
it's all sorts of like different types of like. None of them look the same. They are hand-blown glass little jars, and she holds out 2 of them to you.
This is all I have left. I have to make more, but it takes some time.
I'll try not to actually use them, but thank you just in case.
Now make sure you don't breathe that in.
What is this, by the way?
It's night-night juice.
Of course it is. Thank you very much, ma'am.
You are most welcome. Good luck. Have fun. I will have dinner ready for you. Eventually.
We'll do our best. Thank you so much, ma'am. And she's gonna give a little to Santo and
he's like he was so close to getting that last little strand. It's kind of like stuck on his wet nose. Like he got like some of it off, but just couldn't get into that burlap sack.
While we're heading out, while I'm putting the night juice into my not my knapsack, my backpack, I'm also gonna find a little ration and give it over to him.
Before we head out, I'm going to just quickly look around the room to see if any of the plants are already here.
Oh, you are smart, Kika. You are smart. Please roll. Good golly. Roll a survival check.
Oh, nice. So that is a 23.
Okay, so you do notice that there are a little bit of the butterfly peas that are already dried and hanging from one of the strands like near the window. But because they're already dried, you're not sure if they were the proper ones or not. But they are there. You don't seem to see any of the other materials here.
I'm gonna take those. And bring them over to the gnome and say, "Are these good?"
And she like looks at them and kind of like pulls your hand a little closer to her face, so she could see it better, and sniffs at it.
No, these are terrible. I wouldn't even serve these to you. They're too old.
Okay.
Audrey's gonna come over and not come over, more like just reach his hand over and wave his hands over those petals and use Druidcraft to see if he can put some life back into them.
Oh, all right. I mean, they're already dead and dried.
I can roll something if you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, let's do it. Let's roll. Let's let the dice determine.
Water.
Never mind, that's a 4.
Oh, so you just wave your hand over her flowers.
And they just
they just wilt more.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't.
You're
I'm
a
sorry.
strange one.
And she just kind of like pats your face.
I mean, like, pats my leg.
Yes.
I hope she's not, like, leaping upwards 8 feet at my face.
She casts jump.
Okay, so what we're looking for is kind of like this, but alive.
Yes, and thin leaves. It's very, very important.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, have fun.
She waves to you and kind of turns her back and starts gathering some supplies to make some dinner.
Good luck storming the castle.
Thank you. So, what are you all doing?
I'm going outside.
I'm already outside. I'm going to start looking specifically for bees or butterflies.
Okay. Roll me a survival check.
$15.
Okay. So near one of the strands, again, that were just kind of like tied from the toadstool to a bunch of different trees. Excuse me, they have little bits of shimmering light on them, almost like LEDs. You notice that there is a butterfly kind of dancing around the outskirts of where this little groved area is cleared out from the actual dense forest. So you might have a hint to go in that direction. Because you always follow the butterflies.
Of course. I think the inkberry might be this way if we want to start heading that way. She's going to start.
If you want to, but I'm going this way anyways.
I'm going to go because there's a butterfly, and I know that bushes have butterflies and bees around them.
Oh, we should stay in a group in case the weasels attack.
Goddamn weasels.
Good thinking.
Goddamn weasels!
You're shouting from behind the door.
Maybe that should be our battle cry.
I'm going to pause and wait to see if anybody wants to come with.
Audrey's following.
Walking ahead of you.
Rental, are you following too?
Yeah.
Okay. So you are going ahead and making your way from one of the strands, which it kind of like disappears once you cross into the woods, and head in that direction. I would like all of you to go ahead and make me a survival check.
18.
Okay.
16.
10.
17.
Okay. So all of you see as you are kind of like moving through the forest, not even so much see, but you do hear the sound of like a buzz. A very lively buzz coming from one area, and the deeper in that you kind of pursue, you are met with this there are maybe like 3 areas up against trees, or these maybe 5 foot tall shrubs that have these white flowers, and there are tons of bees just kind of minding their own business and enjoying the flowers. You're welcome.
Going to slowly approach
Russ.
and say in Sylvan, excuse me, I need to get some of these, and take out my dagger and try to collect some.
Okay. Roll me a sleight of hand.
Oh, sleight of hand. Whew, 22.
Okay. Yeah, you are very much successful in cutting down a bit of the bloomed inkberry.
Nice. And I immediately rush back to the party. Like, okay, I got it. Let's not bother the bees anymore.
Cool.
See you later, bees.
What is the next one?
Well, we need the butterfly pea, specifically thin-leaved. It looks like this, she says, holding up the dried plant. And pokeweed and sneezewort. So keep your eyes out for all of those.
Do you think that Santa will be able to sense some of the butterfly pea if we let him smell it?
I don't know if that dried stuff is going to smell the same as the fresh, but...
What's a Santo?
That's my pig,
Oh,
who's actually a boar.
so you can remember the name of your boar, but not your own name.
It's on his collar.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he has one of those. Yeah, I guess I can remember his name. I didn't think about that.
You two must be really close.
Yeah, I trust him with my life.
Aw, that's so sweet. Oh, here.
And she's gonna take it and she's gonna drop down and let him sniff it and make sure he doesn't try to eat it.
Go ahead and roll a survival check at disadvantage for him. Although, does he, again, I asked this, does he get...
He doesn't. No.
Okay, so yeah, roll it at disadvantage.
Was a 14, but now it's an 8.
No.
Rip.
Yeah.
Yeah, he starts kind of like sniffing around. You know, nose just buried in kicking up the moss and whatnot. But there's so many scents going on right now, he can't pick that one up. And Audrey, he seems frustrated. He doesn't like displeasing his master.
He's gonna like gently, very carefully pat the boar and say in Sylvan, "It's okay, buddy. You're doing your best."
Roll me animal handling.
Cool. I don't know if I do have training in animal handling. Thank gosh. That is a 17.
Okay. He hears you and kind of lets you do your thing with him. Doesn't seem to mind and just frustrated.
Let me try.
Are you gonna try to pet?
No,
Santa?
Chris is gonna take the dried flower and
Okay.
it, and then try to.
Hand it back.
follow the trend.
Roll at disadvantage. Unless you hear a Loxodon and you have advantage on smelling things.
That is a 14.
Okay. It smells old, like old dried plants do. A bit dusty. You probably sneeze as you inhale some of the dust particles of who knows how long that's been sitting there for. No. It's just can't seem to pick the dried scent from the actual living flower scent.
Well, then I will use my eyes and knowledge of this plant and pretend I'm using my nose.
There you go. With the 14, you are kind of looking around. I'm assuming all of you are still kind of like wandering together in the woods. Okay.
In fairness, my non-disadvantage roll was a 21.
You're always such a high roller. Good golly.
Because she's a baller.
Kika carry. Hashtag. That's a legit thing. Kika carries all. And you're all kind of like just walking together, not really noticing anything yet. Do you guys want to talk about anything as you are kind of hunting for these flowers?
I think Sneza is gonna come up to Rental and be a little bit closer to her and just, hey, I wanted to thank you again for helping me back there.
Oh, no problem. You were getting attacked. I don't know what kind of person that would be if I didn't help you.
That's very kind of you, very generous. I kind of overheard you in the house. You said your name was Tall?
Oh, well, I didn't want to give away that I didn't know my memory.
Yeah, I found that a little strange that everybody just wants to jump up and tell the first person that we met that we're very vulnerable, aren't we?
Yeah. I'm happy we just know how to fight.
Yeah, it came in handy.
But yes, I looked around and the first thing I saw, that was I just mixed them together to tried to come up with something.
That was quick of you. Again, I just wanted to say thank you for the help. And do you want us to call you Tall now?
I mean, you can if you want, if it is easier.
It's probably better than hey you.
You're not wrong. It'll make it a lot easier. I mean, I don't think I have anything that would even tell me my name.
No. Oh, you know what? I do actually have. And she starts patting down her thighs, and she realizes she does have 2 daggers on her. So she pulls one out real quick, and she looks at it. No, I guess I'm not the type of person to carve my own name in my dagger. Never mind. She puts it back away.
Do you think Chrysanthemum, that she wrote her name on her dagger?
I don't know. She's maybe, or she stole it from somebody who did.
It's true. I mean, she kind of looks like a chrysanthemum.
She kind of does. I mean, they're pretty flowers.
It's very true. She seems good in nature.
I mean, yeah. She's been very quick, and you've all been pretty quick when it comes to fighting, though, or knowing something about nature. I just really kind of wish if I knew we had all come here together for some reason.
I know. I wonder who did this to us and how we ended up here, of all places.
Well, maybe if we get these flowers and stuff, we can figure that out through some magic potion tea, because these are all ingredients for tea. And she seemed big on making tea.
Yeah, she is. She really wants to spill the tea. I just hope that she is doing what she is saying and not making something else. I'm not very.
I think she's making tea.
Honestly, it might just be regular tea.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I think it's just regular tea. I think she just wants somebody to talk to, and I think she's making us some dinner and some tea.
You know, that is fair. At least we'll get an understanding of where we are on this.
I mean, honestly, I feel kind of stupid and kind of weak right now from those stupid ass weasels, and I could use some tea and some rest right now. That'd be great.
I do not blame you. This has been quite a trying start.
It's been kind of crazy. And while I'm talking, I'm going to be looking for specifically the pokeweed, any bright bursts of pink or tentacly plants.
Okay, sure. As you are talking, though, Audrey, you do notice this like area that kind of is covered in a white flower, and you kind of seemingly understand that it's probably some sneezewort.
All right. He's going to sort of stride on over and start gathering a bouquet of sneezewort.
Yes, very specific. But it'd be a beautiful bouquet.
He's like he'll pick one and put it in the bouquet, and then he'll like look at it and pick it out and then like move it to another side to try and like adjust it so there's the best looking bouquet as possible. So it's not like seeing the back of stems or anything.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so perfect.
Well, for flower arranging.
And then he's actually going to hand that to Chris, who he doesn't know your name is Chris yet, but he's going to hand it to you since you're holding all the other flowers.
And she shoves the flowers into her pocket.
Oh, well worked. Oh, okay. I'm going to go.
If I'm holding the flowers, I need my hands.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, sure. I'm going to go talk to the bar for a bit.
Tell him I say hi.
Will do.
Do you want to talk to the boar? Because I'm a role player. I don't care.
Yeah, sure. He's going to go over to the boar and like, because I'm assuming the boar is still a little frustrated, so probably staying.
I can't find any of these things. Like, and then like maybe like find something to eat and then.
Yeah. So probably like a little dejected and everything. Mm-hmm. So he's going to kind of like plop on the ground, like sitting down in front of the boar and just be like, "How you doing, buddy?"
Sure. Weird day.
Do you remember anything from before today started?
No.
Oh, also, the lady over there says hi.
And like for a moment, you see like the boar like look from Audrey to the to Chris, the human, just waving and just like Like you just hear the snort, and Audrey, you hear, yo.
And I think that he's just sort of sitting there, and like he's trying to get on this boar's level because even sitting, he's still like a pretty tall dude.
Mm-hmm.
And as he's trying to get on the boar's level, he actually does, and then he's a wolf.
Ooh. Excuse me.
Chris throws a rock at him.
Sinisa, have you ever seen a shapeshifter before?
I rolled a 7, so
Nope. Cool. You've not encountered somebody that can do this. All of a sudden, you see this
wolf at my pig.
Mm-hmm.
I like to think that 1 minute you're looking and it's Audrey, then you turn around back to your conversation, turn back, and then it's just a wolf.
I want it noted that I rolled a 22 to hit with my rock.
You hit the wolf with the rock. You
How much
definitely hit.
damage do I do?
You roll with improvise. I would say a 1d4.
Plus my dex mod?
I don't have much health.
Yes.
That's 5 damage.
You just hear like as the boar like angrily turns and and looks over at you, Chris.
I'm gonna walk up to this wolf and say in Sylvan, now don't you dare go eating our boar. Holding it.
Audrey has no idea what's happening or why he's so tiny all of a sudden, and he's just like backing away, and like he just got hit with a rock and it hurt really badly. So he's like backing away and like keeping very low.
Yeah, good.
Does
Don't go eating us. But if you want, you can tag along on our adventure, so long as you're good.
He's like trying to talk back because he can understand what you're saying, but he just can't.
from the way that Santo turned to look at Chris, does it look like he would be protecting the wolf?
Yeah.
Okay, so
And the wolf obviously is not looking aggressive
Right.
whatsoever. It's very friendly looking purrs.
so
Chris's first instinct is to protect animals and farm animals from wolves.
well, seeing that the 8-foot guy is gone, and there's now a wolf, and my pig is protecting the wolf, Sineza is gonna walk in between them and kind of just look at the wolf and go, "Where the hell did you come from? And where the hell did the other one go?
Do you think the wolf ate him?
I don't think that wolf could eat anything right now. Look at him. He's
I'm gonna approach the
I don't
wolf
know.
slowly.
At this point, Audrey's just looking for a wolf somewhere. Just like,
You just see a wolf
where-
spinning in a circle.
I'm gonna slowly approach this wolf, and then I'm gonna try and catch you by the back of your scruff.
all right. I mean, he's too busy looking around. He's not gonna fight you. He's just like, "Arr!"
I'm gonna tie my rope around the wolf's neck and make like a makeshift leash and collar. Yeah, we have a wolf now.
Now he's not. Now he's like not happy at what's happening. He's like actively fighting this.
I'm like looking. I'm just holding him, looking at you. I'm just like, do you just turn into like a straight up wolf, or do you like keep any of your?
Markings.
You notice that his ears, instead of being straight up, are almost floppy like a cow's.
That ain't normal. for a wolf. That ain't normal.
I'm gonna take out the dried butterfly pea and say, "Come on, Wolf, find this."
And he's actually gonna sniff and like try and get a scent from it.
Okay, go ahead and roll survival with advantage.
That is a 19 without any modifiers.
Okay, heck yeah. So you are gathering a much deeper scent than this boar could get. And as you kind of sniff it and then sniff the air around you, you kind of, amongst all the other scents, there's so many pleasing scents in this forest, but it pings and it sticks out to you like a World of Warcraft quest line does. And it's like this little scent of glowing glitter that kind of guides you towards this small little patch of where you will eventually find some butterfly pea.
All right. The wolf basically starts scampering off as quick as possible to find the scent.
I am running, still holding on to the end of the rope. Like, I want to call him William.
He like looks back and goes, "Arr?" Like, I don't think I'm a William.
No? Robert? Gregory?
Arr.
Ryan? Okay, Ryan.
Oh my god.
And he's just scampering off to this. Yeah.
Yeah, the wolf will lead you to a small patch of butterfly pea. And with a little examining the difference between what is a normal looking one and a thinly leaved one, and you can kind of hold a couple together and be like, okay, this one looks really plump and healthy and this one doesn't. So you're able to successfully find some thin-leaved butterfly pea.
And I start to getting some.
Okay. Start getting some. The last bit that you need is the pokeweed, the stems of the pokeweed. Go ahead and everybody roll me another survival check.
I don't know what the smell is, so no advantage this time.
Natural 20.
17.
All right.
23.
Yeah. Mine is a 24 total because of the nat 20.
Dang. Y'all are wanting this dang old pokeweed stem, which is relatively close. You could see it off in the distance. Again, it's this bright pink plant amidst a bunch of green, and it sticks out very clearly, and you are able to approach it. There are a whole strand of berries ripe from it, and you can grab as many of those as you want.
I grab more than 7.
I bite one and take it with me. Like a stick.
Aw.
Aw.
I'm gonna do a good pet on him.
Alrighty, and with such good dice rolls, we're gonna go ahead and continue on that, and you were able to find your way back to the little old Tarova's hovel, and I think we're going to end there for tonight. So your memories will have to wait for next week. Well done, everybody. Nicely done. Oh my gosh, all the wolf talk. That is so dang cute. So dang cute. My goodness.
Doesn't know how to end it yet.
Nope. I love it though. That is such a fun way to play a druid. It's so great. But thank you everybody for coming out tonight and hanging out with us for the first episode of The Grove, where we met our Greyhawk / Feywild adventure based on Florence and the Machine songs. That's what it is. We didn't even get to that part. I didn't even get to tell you. And this episode's going to continue on until the next one, which is fine. We're going to take a moment to go around to everybody here. Please let us know who you are, where we can find you, and what other projects you got going on this week. Kika, why don't you start us off since we had you last the first time?
Well, this week, Thursday, I am on Tales from the Grim, playing Dungeons of the Mad Mage as my warlock DNA Hall, who's also part of the Chickenfoot Coven on Dice Camera Action. And Sundays, I'm on Soulbear RPG, playing the Shattered Eye, which is homebrew setting with a lot of Greek and Roman influences, and that's pretty good. You can also check out my Patreon at patreon.com/baking, where I post fantasy-inspired baking recipes. I just started it last month, so there's not a lot on there yet, but I am posting a couple more recipes tomorrow. And you can keep a good track of where I'm on shows by following me on Twitter at twitter.com/KikaVO.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Kika. It's always a pleasure playing with you. Thank you for using wild magic sorcery. I love it so dang much. It's my favorite. Then we're going to kick it off to Tara. Hey.
Hi.
Where can we find you?
I'm Tara, and you can find me here because this is the only place I am.
That's true. But you have a Twitter. People can find you on.
If you want to find me on Twitter, it's at Shynedust, and that's SHYNDUST. And yeah, that's me. Don't have much.
But it was great having you on. If those of you who don't know, that's my wife. That's Mrs. Gnome. I love her. I'm so happy she's playing a game with me. We'll kick it up to PB. Hey, how's it going? Also great to play with you again.
Yeah, I'm so happy to finally be back with Gnome. It's been so long. I am PB from at PB Plays Inside over on Twitter and on Twitch, where I stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time to approximately 9 Central Standard Time. My list of games, which I'm going to put up under the camera so I'm just not staring down. On Mondays, you can find me here on the Greyhawks channel. On Wednesdays, on this Wednesday, you can find me over on Indoor Adventures channel, in which I'm doing a continued one-shot, I think, over there with them from our level 15 that we did last week, which was so cool. And on Fridays, oh, no, we're not doing it this week. And on this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, approximately around about 6, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, I do I just do a random, stream on those days. I do variety gaming normally, and on those days I do more of a creative stream. For example, I'm half trying to learn how to do fantasy map making and then also just other things. So if that's of any interest of you, just follow me on Twitter, and that's where you can find out what I'm doing in any given week.
You're so busy. So busy, PB. That's great though. Everything you do is fantastic. Russ, last but not least, my friend. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good. I'm Russ. You can find me on Twitter at PrismPalsDM. As the name sounds like, I am the Dungeon Master for Prism Pals, an all LGBTQ plus D&D 5e family-friendly podcast. A lot of buzzwords there. Besides that, you'll find me here on Mondays, and occasionally on Sundays I'm on 3V on the Welcome to the Party channel. A big thing that we have coming up, big project that we're working on, is for Prism Pals. We're doing a Pride Week where we are teaming up with 5 other all-queer shows, including Domino Theory, which myself, Kika, and Gnome are all on, and is eventually going to be having a relaunch because we've been busy. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
Well, it has been a pleasure having all of you here. I love each and every one of your faces. My name is Nomadic, though, and you can find me all over the internet at Twitch and Instagram and Twitter at Nomadic. That's me. I do a whole bunch of stuff. I'm here now every Monday for, I don't remember, quite some time, playing this lovely little game. And the Russ already said, with Kika and Russ, because I'm redundant with words. I'm part of the Domino Theory podcast, which is a Masks game. And on Wednesdays, you can find me on Encounter Roleplay, where I GM a Tales from the Loop / Things from the Flood game over there, Wednesday evenings at 8 p.m. And then on Thursdays, I'm over at Unmade Gaming on Twitch, where we play a diesel punk eldritch horror 1920s based game, and it's hecka fun with another great cast, so you can definitely check that out. But I'm also on a podcast / stream known as Rise of the Demigods, where I play a little trans gnome boy who's just done. He's done. He's had a day. I'm done. Everybody's done. Fuck school. Check it out at demigodsfall.com. Yep. Last order of business before we say a good night. Once again, I want to make a shout out to everybody who followed the channel today. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for the bits and for the donations. We were so close to getting that divine favor. My bad for not explaining what divine favor is. I should have done that. We'll definitely pay a little more attention to it next time. But divine favor allows the players to get a little perk, a little boost, a little natural 20 here and there, or an advantage on their die roll, or some pretty other cool stuff. And that is all because you are able to interact with them in that way. So don't forget to toss some bits whenever you see us on. And then another shout out to Roll20, who supports the channel with the awesome virtual tabletop that they are. We are not using it tonight, but we will be using it eventually, because we're going to need to put some maps down on this virtual table for us. And also another shout out to Heroic Maps, Tabletop Loot, Devon Rue, and Cantrip Candles. Just want to say that we love everybody. We appreciate you all for hanging out with us tonight, and we will catch you next time, next week, on The Grove Where We Bet. Have a good night, everybody. Bye. I can hit the right button.